So thank you. This today we'll be looking at the second chapter of the fourth law, which is make it satisfying, and that is chapter 16 of the Atomic Habits by James Clear. Okay. So last week we had our game night, and I'll say congratulations to the people that won again. And we hope the next set of people will be new set of people, right? That's what we are hoping for. And I hope this evening session will also enlighten us and also make these habits part and parcel of us. So with this few introduction of mine, I'm sure that our reviewer, which is Zainab, is ready to discharge everything she had read already. So I'll call her to the virtual attendant to give us what she's willing to share with us. And after then, we can get contributions from others. So Zainab, over to you. And good evening again, everyone.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zainab Eleshin, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this is going to be my first time. I'm going to be reviewing a book here. So, the chapter I'm going to be reviewing is chapter 16 of Atomic Habits by the author James Clear, but we already know that. So, I'm sure everybody's already setting their goals. 2026 is coming. I mean, this is December. We're already in last quarter of the year. And while it's important to set your goals, what's another thing that is important is to be able to set your goals in a way that you can track them. So instead of saying, I want to make 5 million by the end of next year, you say, I want to save 100,000 by the end of each week so that I can make 5 million by the end of next year. This is very important thing. Um, Writing down your goals, because that way you can now actually work towards it, and you can know that if you don't save 100,000 this year, you cannot get to your target, which is like 5 million. This is just like an example. So while this is very important, what will make you be able to achieve this goal is knowing how to track your habits. Like saving is an habit. So if you can be consistent to your saving of 100,000 or a particular amount each week, you'll be able to get to your 5 million by the end of the year. So this chapter particularly talks about that because the name of this chapter is How to Stick with Good Habits Every Day. So in this chapter, James Clear talked about habit tracking, which is a very important part of keeping your habits in check. What I mean by that is you just think about Snapchat streak, Duolingo streak, any streak, because these days I find that people that want to do things like that, that want to encourage people to start new things, they add the streak factor to whatever they are doing. Even TikTok has streak these days. Like you send exchange TikTok idea and to marking is for you. Because I think research has found out that if you put things like that in place, people would not want to break their streak. Even if they will almost forget the reason why they started it. They just see, oh, number three, number four. It's like a sense of satisfaction when you do it. So in this chapter, there was a guy, Trent Smith. They employed him to a bank in Canada, and they found that within a very short period of time, he achieved very great sales record. Like he broke a lot of record, and they found that something that he did was the paperclip strategy, where he had two jars. One was filled with paperclip, the other one was empty. So after he makes any call or makes any sales purchase, he will take one paperclip and put it into the jar. So he kept doing this, doing this, doing this, and this just kind of was a way of habit tracking for him. It was encouraging. It was like, okay, so if I can finish one jar of paper clips, that means okay, I have actually gotten in contact with this amount of people. So that's a strategy that he used. And this author, James Clear, he used it to explain how habit tracking is very important. So he talked about why you should track your habits. He said, number one, habit tracking is obvious. So you can see your obvious progress. Like if you think about when you are downloading something and the thing keeps saying, you know that bar when you're downloading, now it's going like 5%, 6%, 7%. You get a sense of achievement that, okay, we are almost there, we're almost there. It kind of, in a way, takes you away from the goal that you are trying to get sometimes. Maybe because if imagine you want to start the end of the year and you say, I want to lose 20 kg before the end of the year. And how I want to lose 20 kg before the end of this year is to be going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. And after you go to the gym, you cross it on your calendar that, okay, I've gone to the gym today. So if you find that if you try doing things like that, it might take your eyes away from the overall goal, which can be overwhelming at times. Like, oh, instead of focusing, oh, how many kg have I lost? How many kg have I lost? You can focus on how many days have I gone to the gym? Have I missed going to the gym today? Have I missed going to the gym tomorrow? So this is very, very important. Another reason why habit tracking is important is because it can be satisfying. I've said it can be attractive. It makes achieving goal much more easier because it feels less overwhelming. And another thing that he said is that when you pair your habits tracking to the habits that you're actually tracking, it makes it easier because if you think for some people, habit tracking can be like excessive work. For example, if they have to focus on going to the gym every year, why do they have to focus on marking it on their calendar that, oh, I've gone to the gym? That is another habit on its own if you think about it. So if you can make your habits tracking like a seamless process, excuse me, if you can make it a seamless process in a way that you can say, okay, whenever I go to the gym, before I remove my shoes, I will mark it on my calendar. Or you can make it an automated process. That's what's like all these Strava apps, or maybe your Samsung Health app does for you. It kind of helps you track your habits. But there are some things that you don't have that automated process for. So you can just try to make it like immediately I do this, I'll do this. So it doesn't feel like an extra work again. It just comes very easy. So another thing is how to recover when you break down. So we're all human beings, anything can happen. It can be that, oh, for example, you got sick and then you have to like break your streak or something. A very important thing to note is that immediately that kind of thing happens, try as much as possible to like get back into it as soon as possible. So let's say you have been going to the gym for 2 weeks straight every single day, and maybe you fell sick and you could not go to the gym. So the best thing to do in this case is to try to get back into the system as much and as fast as possible. Like if you recover today or you feel a little bit better, go tomorrow. It might be very difficult, but it's important to go as much, as fast and as best, as easy as you can. Because this way you don't start forming another habit. Because honestly, life is very, very difficult sometimes, and like you just want to have it the easy way, you just want to chill, but you need to imbibe in your day-to-day activities. Just try to make things, try to track and try to be very disciplined about the things that you want to do. That's the habit and the tracking of the habit itself. Another thing that the author said is knowing when to track your habits. So this particular section of the chapter was talking about how to pick the right sort of sorry, I'm looking for the word I want to use. How to pick the right variable to track. Let me use variables. So imagine that you want to eat healthy, and instead of tracking how many vegetables you eat, like how many vegetables were in your food, you're just tracking how many times you ate. That way, you're not exactly tracking the right thing. So also try that as much as you want to track your habits, try to track the important things so you don't move your eyes from the target or the goal that you are looking to. So this chapter was a very short one to me, and I found it very relatable because it's very important, especially now that I've been trying to set my 2026 goals. Like I've been trying to do kind of brainstorming for things that I wanted to achieve this year. Because even if you think about it, when you set your goals properly and when you set it in a way that you can track it, is important. You feel fulfilled because then you can actually see the work that you put into it and you can see the results. So I hope that every other person that listened to me were able to pick one or two things that will be important for you in your new habits or new things that you want to learn and unlearn in 2026. Thank you for listening to me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Zainab. Thank you for that for that fantastic review. Okay, so if you want to share your experience, you can drop a chat while I quickly run through one of the key items that stood out for me. So like she said, in this particular chapter, how to stick with good habits every day, we saw the 3 benefits, which is tracking is obvious, habit tracking is obvious, it is attractive, and it is satisfying. And the part of satisfying, right? Or rather, at the point where they were talking about how to keep your habit on track, Jerry said his own strategy was don't break the chain, right? Do not break the chain, never break the chain. He took it upon himself that every blessed day he has to write something down. He has to write a joke down, whether it's good, whether it's bad. He just took it upon himself that no matter what, even if it is, whether it's funny, whether it's good, whether it doesn't make sense, he must write it down. And his rule of thumb was do not break it. Do not break the chain, right? And what is this do not break the chain trying to convey to us? Meaning every blessed day, you have to write something down. Peradventure, maybe you were healed or something, like she said, we are humans, right? We could one day, but let us come back quickly. Let's have that ability to come back quickly before we stop that particular habit. So that's one thing that stood out for me when I was reading. Unfortunately, I was looking at someone's status today and she talked about accountability, which is another goal in this chapter, right? She was talking about our goal, and our goal for 2026 was to be financially accountable. And she said she needs 3 people that would want to be financially stable next year. They could DM her. She'll follow up with calls, ensure they are meeting up their goals. So like Zainab said earlier in the call, right, that, for example, I know that the rule of thumb is when you get your salary or when you make any profit, the first thing to do is take out a particular portion of the money, then you spend the rest, right? I know that most people, it's very, very difficult, but this year, my own example is this year, it has actually worked fantastically well for me. Once I get any money, I already said, okay, this is what I want to set aside. Before I even spend anything, I first divide all my funds first. Then the rest, I can play with it. And this year has been the best year for me so far. And it has been consistent. And this is what James Clear is trying to tell us, making our habits satisfying, making it obvious, ensure that you meet your end goal at the end of the day. And some points that we've stated earlier is accountable. Even when you are creating your habit, I know it's difficult. You can get a partner. Okay, what I want to do is I want to be a writer like we've been reading, make your goal short term. I want to be a writer. I want to write. So you just document it. Tell this person, oh, every Wednesday, please check up with me and let's see how far I've gone. Like that, you see that you will start making progress. You start making progress. Oh, someone's hand is up. Oh, sorry. 1 minute, just 1 minute. You start making progress with things that you've done, right? So just have an accountable partner, because the truth is it's not easy to track our habits. It's really, really not easy. So I'll leave the floor to Ufoma, then we'll go ahead. Thank you. Ufoma, over to you.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Dana, for this fantastic review. And thank you so much, Moradia, as well. So, I mean, this it's been an interesting year for all of us. At the beginning of the year, we all had to set, our different goals for the year. And December is more like a time to reflect. And this chapter is just so apt in terms of reminding us about the importance of making those little steps. And even though we set a goal that maybe I want to save X amount of money this year, right? But reflecting now in December, we are realizing that, oh, I actually wasn't, I didn't make conscious efforts. I didn't put things in place to make me sort of ensure that I do that, right? Not this is also a time for us to plan for next year, right? And it's important. I mean, that's why one when the story about the 23-year-old boy that was, employed as a salesperson, right? Just sort of reminds me in my head that how important it is for us to just make those little steps. So um, how can we just sort of automate things that would help us to be accountable? For example, I want to save, like I mentioned, right? What do I need to do? Do I need to get someone that would sort of someone that would be more like following up on me and asking me how much have you saved so far, or can't I automate this process? You can decide that, okay, even as little as 5,000, for example, every month, that you decide that, okay, let me put a standing order for me to just to debit my salary account, for example, and just set that 5,000 every month. You can imagine if you had started that little as 5,000 every month, and looking back at December, how much that would have been. So even saying that you want to lose 20 kg, it's so difficult. I mean, almost impossible. But just taking little steps by buying all these Fitbits that would help you count your steps and tell you that how much calories you've been able to burn today and all of that. Just making all of those little steps that at the end of the day you will just make you smile and you'll be happy and you sort of been satisfied that I've been able to achieve this. If I'm able to save this much, I was able to be disciplined enough to tell myself that I can save 1 million naira at the end of December. That means next year I should actually set a higher goal. Or for example, I actually plan to save 1 million, but for some reason I lost track. I end up maybe saving only 50,000. What can I do for me to ensure that in 2026 I'm able to save more? Even in this case in reading group, okay, we've been reading chapters week on week. We've had game nights every month, right? Was I reading all of those chapters as we were reading? What can I do in 2020 to ensure that I'm accountable, that I come to the weekly review and I'm able to also contribute, right? And I'm also reading those chapters and moving on as we are making all of those moving on to the various chapters in all of the books that we all have to, how will I put it? We all have to we all do a poll and we all have to say, okay, this is the book we want to read and all of that. So this December is just a time of reflection for all of us or even for me. I would say that I set a goal that this year I want to go to the gym, all of that. But I so much lost track on that. I'm going to save, blah blah blah, and all of the different goals. I'm going to do some, But it's just a time for all of us to just reflect and say, don't be too hard on ourselves again, and just plan towards the new year as we enter into it. And this chapter sort of just reminds me of all of the things that maybe I planned and what I can do better going into the new year, and also doing a reflection of how far I've done in this year that has been. So that's all I wanted to say, as in in summary, that's all of those little steps as we go into the new year. We just begin to make all of those little steps that at the end of the day, we see that we're actually able to achieve, we're able to lose 10 kg, we're able to save so much, right? Even though we plan to save maybe 1 million, for example, at the end of the year, we realize that we're able to save only 500 or 400. I mean, it's progress. So, I mean, I think in summary, just us being able to plan ourselves better, sort of. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Thank you. Anu, thank you, Zainab.
All right, thank you, Ufama. So, everyone, Ufama and Zainab had practically said virtually almost everything. So, like we know, this particular chapter actually emphasizes on being the best version of yourself. What we are tomorrow yesterday is already past. So what we want to say ourselves, what we envisage ourselves to be tomorrow is basically what this chapter is talking about. And I'll just break it into 3. 1, let our habits be very simple. Let's reduce it to the barest minimum. For example, like I said, I want to be a writer. What do I need to do? I need a book, I need a biro. Every morning, just put it on your bed. When you come in the evening, you know that you need to write something. So that's basically, it's like a reminder to you that, oh, I need to write. So whatever you want to do, just put it somewhere that you can see, right? And I'm sure you will make progress. And that's what this 23-year-old guy did. He had 120 paperclip, and every day he ensures that he turns it into the empty can. Let's make it easy. Let's use visual cues. Zainab talked about tracker. Ufama talked about tracker. I want to lose 10 kg. You can use your tracker, or you can monitor yourself, or you can use a calendar, right? Check it out. What do I want to do? How do I want to use 10 kg? Is it using keto, or is it by reducing my calories? Anything, just ensure that you follow through. Use things that you can see, your calendar, your apps, ensure you follow through with it. Then the third one I like to say is make it visible. Sorry, have accountable partner here. I mentioned that really helps a lot. Trust me, it has worked. It has worked for me before. I'll try that again next year. I didn't use it this year, but it has always worked for me. Someone that would actually be, just don't look for someone that will not have your time, someone that will have your time and ensure and will put you on your toes. So that's another. You can talk to your friend and have a report at the end of every day, showing you that you are actually doing well. And I guess we've talked about this 2 minutes before. Let's break it down to the barest minimum. What exactly do I want to do? How do I want to do it? Just think about it for 2 minutes, something that will not pass 2 minutes, and just keep it up, keep up the momentum. And before you know it, you're as good as done, right? And please, like I said the last time, when Jerry was talking about don't break the chain, right? Once you break it the first time, do not repeat it again. Just ensure you keep the momentum, and you know and your habits will become part and parcel of you. Okay. No. Okay, there is a no answer. Okay. Like we said, this chapter 16, chapter 16 is actually a short summary, and is something every one of us, I guess it's just like a reflection of what we've done this year. Let's us go back home. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Just look at it again. 2026, I'm sure we've made some mistakes that we don't want to take into 2026, we can write it down. How do we intend to make it better? And I'm sure this our habit tracker would actually help us. Let's have your calendar. Okay, for next year, I want to save 1 million naira, for example. How do I get that 1 million? 1 million divided by 12, and you do the maths. If you are capable, just ensure that you every month you take that. If it's weekly, you take that amount and you keep it. You can either keep it in your bank account or invest the money somewhere that, in fact, PiggyVest will be the best for people that are just starting, so that you lock the money and you don't touch it at all. So just do a PiggyVest account, get a PiggyVest account, just lock the money so you don't even have access to that money at all. And by the end of the year, you might be shocked at the amount. Or you want to improve your communication. What do you need to do? Look at your mentors, people that speak well, people that write well. Just look at them. What have they done? And start practicing bit by bit, 5 minutes per day, and you just increase your ability, and you see that at the end of the year, you're actually good. So let's ensure that we use our habit tracker in our day-to-day activity, and you are well on your way to greatness. I'll end for this evening. Thank you all for joining. Please don't forget, every Saturday, 7:30, you clock into the Zoom link that is on our WhatsApp, or you can, if you want to join and you're not yet in the group, we can always send the link to you and you can join. You can meet any of the admins, myself, Ufoma, Azim, and Moses, and Eleshi, and we would guide you accordingly. Please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Do engage us. Watch out. Every week we'll drop the videos on YouTube so that you can refresh yourself on what we have discussed so far and how well we've gone. And if you also want to review, if you want to be a reviewer for any of the books that we'll be reading, you can also nudge us, and we'll tell you what we need from you and guide you accordingly. This is the second week in December. I'd like to say compliment of the season to everyone, and I wish us a wonderful celebration. It's already there to December. Everywhere is popping. Please don't forget to spend 5 minutes every day to read your book or whatever habits you intend to activate. See you same time next week, and have a wonderful evening. Bye for now.
Yeah, bye everyone.